I was literally in October 7th.
Where were you?
In a city called Nativo, near the southern border.
Really? You want to talk about that?
Israel had a right to attack Hamas, but they have gone. They've indiscriminately bombed Gaza and
fuck Hamas.
Did you know that there are 7.5 million Americans that are Jewish? And today, I'll be asking Jewish Americans of who they are voting for. Is it Donald Trump or Kamala Harris?
Israel, in my opinion, within a period of 2 to 3 years will cease to exist. It's going to be wiped out. That's what's going to happen. What difference does it make from my standpoint? I have to tell you the truth, and maybe you'll be energized because there's no way that I should be getting 40% of the vote. I'm the one that's protecting you.
So my documentary is basically the voice of people. Whatever they want to say, I don't share my personal opinion.
Yeah, this guy's the boy.
That's what I was saying.
Yeah, finna rub a band.
Share his opinion, so why do you have to share yours?
No, because I'm not doing a debate.
I don't care. I'm Jewish, bro. I'm Israeli.
Wondering what your opinion is.
Who are you?
Let's make sure I don't do a Chilul Hashem in this bit.
Trump 2024, make America great again.
So in this documentary, I'll be finding out what are their values, what do they care about, and what concerns them the most as a Jewish American living in the United States. Tell me 3 things that concerns you the most.
Probably the elections coming up. If Kamala gets in, we're gonna see some real chaos here with the markets and the American dollar. I'm concerned with the homeless people ruining the streets of LA. And the last thing I'm probably concerned with is Karen Bass creating hotels for these homeless people with our taxpayers' dollars. What is she doing? Don't you agree?
I agree, yeah.
Yeah, there you go. LA is a messed up place. Don't come here if you don't want to be here.
I mean, there was Dodgers game and then
They lit a bus on fire.
which is crazy.
Yeah, of course. People are crazy out here. It was just like the whole movement with the BLM thing. Most of the time with what happened with that was all of these stores owned by black people that were getting absolutely demolished and shut down and stolen from. It was black owners of all the stores in LA. So, I mean, it's a really messed up place to be here because people don't have a moral compass.
Who are you going to be voting for? I know it's a personal question. You don't have to
I'm going to
answer,
be
but
voting for Mr. Donald Trump, Trump 2024. Make America great again because he's a fucking beast. All I need to say, do your research at home. During COVID-19, something that we really haven't been through since like the Spanish flu virus took over. And I mean, listen, you have to shut everything down. And he gave out some stimulus checks, and then Biden gave out stimulus checks to people's dogs from other countries. And at the end of the day, you have to decide where you want your money going to. And at the end of the day, either it's going to go well with Kamala, go well with Trump. It's up to you. Vote for whoever you want.
Have you already voted?
I already voted. Yeah, I voted for Trump.
Do you think most of Jewish people are voting for Trump or Kamala?
Most of the Jewish people are probably voting for Trump just because Kamala, during the whole Israel and Hamas thing, hasn't done anything. She hasn't said anything. She hasn't actually addressed it in a way that she cares or actually tried to help. And as to Trump, he wouldn't have even given Iran the money to actually spread it out to all the terror proxies in the first place. It would have never happened. And on top of that, he wouldn't have even let everything get like this in the US with all the college campuses, with all these freaking Americans and all these gay people marching for gays for Hamas. They'd slaughter them all if they went there. They'd all get slaughtered. There's some people over here that are absolutely sick in the head, and that's LA. Welcome. Me, I want to see anybody come over here and run up on me. But at the end of the day, what can you do? You got to protect yourself. You got to protect your family.
Do you think even if people are in California voting for Trump, that would change anything?
That's a good question, just because everywhere is so liberal, and who knows at the end of the day if the votes actually are correct. Because Biden and Kamala stole an election 4 years ago. What's really stopping them from doing it again this year?
Why do you think they stole the elections?
Well, because people had ballots come in for their dead dogs from 4 years ago. So it really doesn't make sense. And I actually saw for these elections, on some voting machines, you'd click on Trump and it would automatically select Kamala. I don't know if you've seen that video going around.
Really?
At the end of the day, if you're living here, you're contributing to society, you're working, you're paying your taxes, you're doing everything by the law. What are you doing? It's the people who aren't the working class people that are actually dragging people down and just ruining things for everybody. So I think to run an actual stable society, everybody has to contribute, and nobody can really just be sitting on the sideline with like all these homeless people trying to collect our money. I just don't know how after 4 years of Kamala doing absolutely nothing but tarnish the American dollar and absolutely just have people so damn concerned that she could actually go ahead and do it again. Like, no way these sick people saw 4 years of Kamala and want to actually elect her to do it again. 4 years of nothing. So I believe that if Trump gets in, I think we're going to start seeing eventually some actual drop in costs of everything. Obviously, gas out here in California, food at the grocery store, and all this money that they're sending to the war in Ukraine that's lasted the past, 3-4 years. And they got to send some troops out there and just get that thing done. Why send money? Send troops.
You think the U.S. military should go there?
Yeah, I do. At the end of the day, they're sending our money, putting us more into a hole with the U.S. debt that's already at $35 trillion. So at the end of the day, what the hell is that going to do if nothing is changing over there? It's the same thing. Russia's invading over there, and we just keep sending them more and more money and nothing's changing. Why not send in some troops and go actually get the job done?
I think a lot of Americans would disagree and would say that it's not our conflict and wouldn't want to go.
Yeah, it's completely understandable, but at the end of the day, you have to remember that it's everybody's conflict. Just like the terror proxies like in Iran and just like Hamas, Lebanon, it's all of the same thing. First, they're coming for Israel, but at the end of the day, they're coming for all of Western civilization. So I think it's a really big issue that does concern everybody else. It has to contribute.
What's the solution for Israel and Palestine?
Not everybody over there are civilians and there are people who are hurting. But at the end of the day as well, these people and these kids are being raised with hate and they're being taught this from the moment that they come out of their mothers. Like you really have to cut the head of the snake. What they did, you know, they killed all the leaders, but they just keep re-electing leaders because they're growing up to be like this. So I don't think I can say what the solution to it would be. I just don't think I'm qualified to that.
Any last words?
Be nice and vote for Trump. Fuck Hamas. That's it.
Guys, I finally have been able to interview some Jewish people around in this area. So I want to take a quick break to tell you guys the sponsor of today's video, American Hartford Gold. As some of you guys know that our savings are under constant pressure from high interest rates, taxes, and inflation. There is a way to combat inflation, and that is by buying gold from American Hartford Gold. I wanted to tell you a way to protect your savings, and that is by buying gold. Gold is considered a hedge against inflation. Like in 2000s, it was $270. Then right now, it's $2,758. Did you guys know that gold is a precious metal and it's backed by its value unlike dollar? If you really want to protect and diversify your portfolio, I would definitely recommend buying some gold. American Hartford Gold provides Gold IRA, which is tax-free and penalty-free. They have no buyback fees. They have free storage and delivery services, and if you're new to buying gold, they're also providing free education and support system. American Hartford Gold has 5-star rating, so if you would like to buy gold, text Dohaa to 65532 or call 866-643-9432, or you could also click the link in description because they're literally giving away up to $15,000 of free silver for the first qualifying order. So make sure you guys buy some gold. Back to the video. America has one of the largest Jewish populations. And historically, Jewish people have always been Democrats, so we found a Jewish American guy who wanted to give his thoughts.
3 things that concern me the most as a Jewish American. My biggest concerns are just with the state of democracy, also abortion rights, women's rights as a whole. My biggest concern by far is just the very non-democratic things Trump has said and threatened, especially like the recent "the enemy from within." If you're curious about my views on Israel-Gaza, I generally agree with what Kamala has been saying recently, and that Israel has gone way too far in its response. And October 7th was a terrible, terrible attack on the country. Israel had a right to attack Hamas, but they've indiscriminately bombed Gaza, and it's gone beyond the point of just a basic military operation. It's not military targets, so it's not right. I do think there should be a cutoff point somewhere around the end of the 2nd trimester or beginning of the 3rd. I will admit I'm not the most educated on fetal development, but just the point of developed consciousness, which is really hard to pinpoint. But late 2nd trimester would be my guess. As someone from Texas, it should be discouraged, but I believe that there should be a path to citizenship for anyone who wants to come to this country. The Statue of Liberty, it's what it stands for. This is supposed to be a place of opportunity, and so many people are fleeing violence and horror in their home countries. They are genuine, honest people who want to come to work, but they're being villainized by the right, being called all these terrible things. I mean, Trump says they're eating the dogs and cats, but
They're eating the dogs, the people that came in. They're eating the cats. They're eating the pets.
it's ridiculous. They are hard workers who want to come to this country but are not able to wait for months and years at a time, because it's really hard to naturalize in the current way it has to be done. So yeah, that's my overall views.
Trump or Kamala?
Man, Trump all day, bro.
I don't want to be in there. Yeah, no, fuck this.
What are 3 things that concerns you the most?
Immigration, taxes.
Like the validity of the election. Because if you think about it, if you're voting for Kamala, then you're allowing a lot of immigrants to like flood the borders, and then people, instead of just campaigning about their policy, they're just gonna cater to the immigrants, the illegal immigrants. Because if you're gonna pass bills to let illegal immigrants vote, or kids with like green cards vote, then like every politician is gonna like cater towards those people. They're gonna say like, yeah, immigrant rights and everything. They're gonna get the biggest popular vote. They're gonna start earning a lot more electoral college votes. Say like border control is one of the biggest one, but I think my biggest concern is the welfare of Israel, the state of Israel, because it's like one of the only sites of democracy in the Middle East. Also, I'm Israeli. I was in October 7th. I know how Israel needs to be protected. I was literally in October 7th.
Where were you?
In a city called Netivot, near the southern border.
Really? You want to talk about that?
Bro.
Support Israel.
So my documentary is basically the voice of people. Whatever they want to say, I don't share my personal opinion.
Yeah, this guy's the boy. This guy's...
That's what
What?
I was saying.
Yeah, finna
He
rub a
was only
band.
share his opinion, so why do you have to share yours?
No, because
I
I'm
don't
not doing
care.
a debate.
I don't
What do you
care.
mean not do?
I'm Jewish, bro. I'm Israeli.
Wondering what your opinion is.
Where are you? Let's make sure I don't do a Chilul Hashem in this bit.
You were like there at the.
I was on October 7th, so the places you've heard about is Kfar Aza, Be'eri, Zerot, Ofakim, Netiv Asara, like a bunch of other places in the south. But there's one place that like not a lot of people talk about, which is Netivot. Well, for like a couple reasons. Number one is that like not much happened inside of Netivot per se. So I'll just give you a little run through. I woke in the morning like 6 a.m. It was Chag, it was a holiday, and we're supposed to go out to shul, to synagogue to practice religion. And 6 a.m. rockets, but like not just like regular rockets. I'm talking like non-stop rockets after the other. And I'm used to rockets. I was like, oh, like I'm fine. Like I'm going to the bomb shelter and I'm chilling. But like if it's one after the other, like I couldn't even sleep. You gotta run to the bomb shelter because like you never know like if there's gonna be like a dropping. That wasn't so bad though. Like around like 8, 9 a.m. I keep Shabbat. I didn't use my phone on holidays, so I didn't know anything was going on the outside. But then I have my brother-in-law's brothers, and they came in with their phones saying like they're on pickup trucks driving around the road and like people are dying in the streets. He said Em Lakhut Be'eri, and that means like they just took Be'eri. They took the kibbutz of Be'eri right on the border. That's like a 10-minute, maybe like a walk. If you walk from Be'eri to Netivot, it's nothing. And like it's like right next to each other. There's no like roads between it, but like it's very, very close in proximity. So is Zerot Ofakim, which were hurt very hard in the war. So we heard that happening, and that's like I started to have a panic attack for real. And I never usually like had panic attacks. They had to give me a Xanax to calm down. I was shaking. Like we were watching the cameras, and I remember thinking to myself like, wow, like we're actually gonna die. We're watching the cameras. We're waiting for someone to just like come with RPG and blow up the door and kill us all because we're defenseless. My brother-in-law, the only guy with a gun in the house, was up in the center of Israel for his friend's birthday. He doesn't keep Shabbat. He's my sister's husband, and he came down. I remember just crying in his chest, just like saying like, you're my hero, because like no one's gonna save you, no one's gonna help you. It was terrible.
So there was like a music festival happening, and then
Nova.
all what happened.
Nova.
Okay, got it.
That wasn't very close to me, but like still, it was like right on the gate. And like honestly, like what are you guys doing partying on the gate? But like still, what happened is like you can't make an excuse for what happened in that party. You're killing people who are defenseless. They're running away. And like the obvious rebuttal is gonna be like, what about Israel who's hitting Palestinians every day in Gaza? Well, don't blame IDF when Hamas is literally hiding behind their goddamn civilians. Like of course there's gonna be civilian casualty if you're gonna hide behind your civilians. And the obvious rebuttal to that is that like they're not even trying to hurt the militants. They're trying to kill civilians. Well, they're not. If you look at the ratio, it's like 1.6 to 1, which is crazy, by the way. If Israel didn't care about civilians, the war would be over 10 fucking years ago, over in a second. But they care, and they hit around civilian areas to try to get the militants. But obviously, there's going to be civilian in the crossfire. They're going to get hit in the crossfire because they're hiding behind civilians. And what can you do about that?
So what is the solution now, and what should be the U.S. involvement?
So obviously, people in the comment section are going to get mad at me. I hope you know. They're going to get mad at me in the comment section. They're going to get mad.
Why?
I'm about to say something a little bit, you know.
I think you should.
I'm just going to say it.
If you would like.
Listen, I'm from Israel. I lived in Israel. My parents are Israeli. And I've always grown up in Israeli culture. But I only lived in Israel by myself for 2 years. I was in army prep. One second. I'm gonna say one thing. Israel has no choice but to wipe out Gaza and possibly people in the West Bank. I lived in the West Bank for 1.5 years, by the way. There's nothing you can do. You can kill a people, but you can't kill an ideology. And that ideology is to kill innocent Jews and to remove the Israeli state and replace for a Palestinian state. And that's it. All right.
What are 3 things that concerns them the most right now?
Immigration, economy, and crime. Well, the power of the police has been shattered over the past 4 or 5 years. That needs to change. They need to gain back their power and be able to rule the law. All this BS that's going on with people stealing and allowing them to steal up to a certain amount, it's a joke. 10, 15, 20 million illegal immigrants storming the border with nobody stopping them. That's a joke. It needs to stop. Economy, inflation, housing. People can't afford anything today.
As you know, the presidential elections is on November 5th. Who are you leaning towards?
Donald Trump. She won't do anything about it. She is the reason for everything I just mentioned.
What about your friends, your family? Are they also voting for Trump?
We are all on the same page, yes.
Do you think abortion should be banned?
Absolutely not.
Should there be any limit or no?
Should be a limit to have abortion, maybe after the first trimester. That should not be allowed unless there's a special circumstance. But women have the right to do what she wants with her own body, but it also has to be making sense, where it doesn't feel like you're actually killing a baby.
What is one message that you would like to share with Kamala Harris supporters?
That we're pretty much screwed either way. They're both pretty horrible. I'm just going with the least bad option. She's not a candidate that was chosen by the American people. So that's, for me, a joke on its own. Everything that's going on is pretty much a mess. It's a coin toss. It's both of them are bad. So I wouldn't be surprised if a bunch of people will not vote at all.
What are three things that concerns you the most as a Jewish American?
The war in Israel right now, just being safe when I pray, and praying for world peace for all people, regardless if they're Jewish or not Jewish or Christian or Muslim. I just want everybody to get along.
As you know that presidential elections is on November 5th,
Yes.
who are you going to be voting for?
Absolutely Trump. Kamala Harris is a horrible person. I used to be a lawyer in San Francisco, and she worked for the district attorney, and she prosecuted mainly people of color. And now she's claiming that she wants social justice and criminal justice. She's a complete hypocrite. She's done nothing to help our economy or the border crisis. She does not in any way support Israel like Obama. She's a horrible person. And I don't like Trump either, but he's the better of the two.
Correct me if I'm wrong. I have heard that historically Jewish have always been voting for Democrats and it's changing now.
Yes, it's changing significantly because even if you look at Congress, most of the Republicans back Israel, okay? And we were attacked in October. And of course, many civilian lives have been lost. And I feel unbelievably horrible about that. Unfortunately, as you know, Hamas hides behind civilians as their shields, so we attack them and it gets bad publicity for Israel. However, the truth has to be known, and the Republicans know that Israel is our big ally in the Middle East. I mean, Egypt has come around too, but Iran is a big evil player here. It didn't used to be. My wife is Persian, and she said 30, 40 years ago when the Shah was in power, things were great. But with the new regime, their one objective is to destroy Israel, which is a very sick doctrine. As a Jew, I've never been taught to hate or destroy anybody. We want to live in peace, and that's what we're trying to reach. So the Democrats now, I mean, there's a trend in Congress not to stand behind Israel, like Kamala Harris. She keeps talking about a two-state solution, but what about world peace? What about ending the war? What about bringing the hostages home?
So what is the solution now since I think the leader was killed recently?
The Hamas leader was killed. The Hezbollah leader was killed. It doesn't matter. I mean, they still have somebody that can replace them. They still have the same doctrine, which is to destroy Israel and kill all the Jews. And this is biblical. This comes from Esau and from Ishmael. And I could go into a lot of stories about that, but I won't right now. But, you know, my cousin was a captain in the army, and he said, you know, the Arabs are our cousins. We should learn to get along, not kill each other. And this is true. If you trace our roots back to biblical times, everybody was the same. And now there's a division.
Jewish and Muslims are cousins.
Yes, and all Jews are cousins, Christian, whatever you are. We're all related. We're all from the same God, from Hashem. We've all been created from the same God. You know, regardless what our religion is, our ideology, whether we're Hindu or Buddhist or Jewish or Christian, we come from the same place.
Have you already voted?
Yes.
Do you think illegal immigration should be criminalized?
That's a tough question. See, I used to be a criminal defense lawyer, and I believe that people should be given a chance for a fair trial. But I wish that American veterans who fought for our country would get better benefits than the homeless people, now homeless because they're illegal immigrants. They're taking jobs away from Americans. They're taking health care benefits. And why shouldn't people that are here legally, that fought for our country, why are they homeless in the street? Why is the government taking care of them? I mean, this to me is obscene. So criminalization, I don't know. I just don't want them to come in here, take our jobs, take our benefits. It's not fair.
What do you think about abortion?
I'm against it, of course. However, there are some exceptions. If somebody's raped, there are some exceptions, of course. But overall, you know, I think it's a woman's right. I don't think the government should interfere, whether it's a Republican or Democrat. I know Kamala Harris makes this a huge measure on her agenda is women's rights. Of course, women's rights are important. But nobody has any rights if we're at war. Nobody has any rights if you go to the grocery store and you pay $10 for a banana. Nobody has any rights. Men, women, you know, where are our rights when people come in here illegally and they kill and rape our women? Is that a right? No.
Do you have any message for people going to vote and how their vote matters?
Yeah, I would say that generally speaking, I'm not a real political, party-oriented person. I voted for Ronald Reagan. He's the best president we ever had. I also voted for Clinton. So I vote for the best person. The best person's Trump. I mean, I don't love him, but he's the best.
Have you always been voting for the best candidate policies, not like one party?
Yeah, absolutely.
Have you ever voted for Democrats?
Oh, yeah. I voted for Clinton. I made a mistake and voted for Carter, who was one of the worst presidents we've ever had. Thank goodness I didn't vote for Obama, who was also a horrible person and an anti-Semite and did nothing to support Israel whatsoever. So I would say Jimmy Carter and Obama are the worst presidents we've ever had. Ronald Reagan and Bill Clinton are the best presidents we've ever had.
What about last time?
Last time, I voted for Trump.
Okay. People say that these are like three major reasons that they don't like to vote for Trump. They say he's a felon, January 6th, and COVID-19.
Okay, so felon, yes, but it was a twisted court. It was politically based. What was his crime? Who did he hurt? Yes, technically, he may have committed a crime, but who's the victim? You know, it's mainly it was mainly done for political reasons, and he'll probably win on appeal. COVID, he possibly did not handle that the best way, but I think the Biden administration didn't do a great job either. I'm not sure what the cause of it was from the get-go. I don't know. I'm not, an immunologist. I don't know what the problem was at the get-go. However, I think that overall Trump is the best choice for our economy. We had a good economy. We didn't have inflation, and our borders were protected, and he supports Israel. I mean, look, his son-in-law is Jewish, Jared Kushner. He goes to synagogue with my stepson in Washington, D.C. at the Chabad, and he's a good person. Trump supports him.
Okay. Do you think we should cut taxes for billionaires?
I think small business people should have a tax break. Like Trump introduced the Tax and Job Cut Act, which reduces your overall taxable income by 20% off the top. If you have a business structure, and I believe in this. As far as tax cuts for billionaires or millionaires, I think they should pay their fair share.
And what's the fair share?
Whatever the tax code said it is.
Okay, got it.
Yeah, but I don't think they should get certain breaks.
Okay.
I think everybody should pay their fair share.
Okay.
I mean, we have to maintain our sidewalks. We have to have police security, fire security. So everybody should pay, what they have to pay.
Got it. One last message. Your message to the world.
It's world peace. Let's get along. Whether you're wearing a kippah or you have a cross on your neck or you believe in Islam, again, we all come from the same God. If you believe in Hashem, you believe in the one true God. He created us all equally. He created the light and the dark. So go into the light, get out of the dark. All right? Hashem wants us to love each other. That's the message of Judaism. It's not to kill other people. Yes, of course, historically, we've had to protect ourselves because people seek to destroy us. I don't know why. Are they jealous because we're the chosen people? Because we accepted the covenant with Hashem? The Brit? I don't know. But let's get along. Stop killing people. Let's love. That's my message.
What are 3 things that concerns them the most right now?
Immigration, economy, and crime. Well, the power of the police has been shattered over the past 4 or 5 years. That needs to change. They need to gain back their power and be able to rule the law. All this BS that's going on with people stealing and allowing them to steal up to a certain amount. It's a joke. 10, 15, 20 million illegal immigrants storming the border with nobody stopping them. That's a joke. It's to stop. Economy, inflation, housing. People can't afford anything today.
As you know, the presidential elections is on November 5th. Who are you leaning towards?
Donald Trump. She won't do anything about it. She is the reason for everything I just mentioned.
What about your friends, your family? Are they also voting for Trump?
We are all on the same page, yes.
Do you think abortion should be banned?
Absolutely not.
Should there be any limit or no?
Should be a limit to have abortion, maybe after the first trimester. That should not be allowed unless there's a special circumstance. But a woman have the right to do what she wants with her own body, but it also has to be making sense, where it doesn't feel like you're actually killing a baby.
What is one message that you would like to share with Kamala Harris supporters?
That we're pretty much screwed either way. They're both pretty horrible. I'm just going with the least bad option. She's not a candidate that was chosen by the American people. So that's, for me, a joke on its own. Everything that's going on is pretty much a mess. It's a coin toss. Both of them are bad. So I wouldn't be surprised if a bunch of people will not vote at all.
Oh, you're going to do interview with God?
No, I have his phone number.
Whose phone number?
God's phone number.
You have God's phone number?
Yeah.
Wow.
Crazy.
Do you think I can talk to you?
Of course.
Let's talk.
My pleasure. But you are Indian?
Yeah.
Ah, God, hey.
You like Indians?
I love Indian.
Let's go. Let's talk. Okay, let's talk.
What language you speak?
Japanese.
Oh my God. And Indian, we speak Japanese.
You speak
You can
Japanese?
interview.
Oh, you have 2 mics?
Don't worry about that. He's my lucky number.
Who are you voting for?
God.
You're voting for God?
And people on this planet, animals and plants. Every being alive. I am DJ Cass, promoter of peace and love. DJ. Bijan is Iranian, Jean is French. I'm half.
What's that?
I am a human being. How about you?
I'm a human being too.
I love you most. Do you eat meat?
Yeah.
I don't eat meat.
You don't eat meat?
No, they are animals. They have lives like you and me. They want to live, right?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Do you think abortion should be banned?
Of course not. The mother decides. If she was raped, if she doesn't want, yes. If she did that with mutual consent, if she want to get a child or his child, yes. If not, the mother decides. That's why I say never say motherfucker. Say mother father, mother flower, mother fragile. Anything else, come tomorrow to Hollywood.
Do you think there should be any limit?
Of course not.
No limit. You can do whenever?
No, you don't need to create. You can adopt a dog, a cat, a human being who's suffering in Africa, or Indian who's hungry, right? Thank you. I love India. You know why? You're master of physics and mathematics. Quantum zero came from India. Did you know that? And then quantum entanglement.
What is your last message to the people?
To the people, never lie, never lie. If you lie, the very first person that you lie is yourself. And then.
Who should they vote for?
I would say peace and love, Donald Trump. Peace and love, Donald Trump in Hollywood. It's got to be my slogan. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. Here you go.
Write my phone number, 67.
You found the secret of Albert Einstein?
Okay, actually, no space. Just Google.
Really? You found it?
Big time.
Wow.
It's quantum entanglement.
You're a genius.
You are it.
All right.
I have the message.
Yeah.
The message is to be one peace of mind, you need love.
Yeah.
The other side of love is hatred. The other side of peace is war. That's what's happening. I have a good news and the bad news for the whole body of humanity.
What is that?
The good news is we are that close to the Third World War, but it will never happen. I don't let them because whatever bring on my mind, I'm connected. The bad news, ready?
Yeah.
Planet Earth is 1.5 degrees Celsius overheating, is in fever, and we are watching for a small, tiny land of Israel, the Holy Land. Come on, give me a break. Billion people die for war. Go to my Facebook. It's a university.
Okay. Thank you.
What brought you here in LA?
God.
God bless you.
Yeah.
Peace and love. That means goodbye, good vibes.
Okay.
Peace and love.
Thank you.
Peace and love.
Peace and love.
God bless you.
What an interesting guy. Nice to meet you.
Thank you.
Of course. That was the interviews from Jewish Americans. I hope you get to know their opinion, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Dohaa, Dohaa, Dohaa the Explorer.